Hey guys, so I've been thinking a lot lately about the importance of good habits, and in my thinking, I've found a great website called entrepreneur.com, which has heaps and heaps of articles about business and self improvement and lots of different topics um, to help us all be more successful. And on that website, I found an article by a guy named James Clear. And in that article, he gave an example or a story of a guy named Dave Brailsford. Now, in 2010, the British racing team had never won a Tour de France, and they really, really wanted to. That was one of their goals. So, the British cycling team. So they hired this guy, Dave Brailsford. So he came on board and straight away decided that in order to win the Tour de France, they needed to make some changes. So they went about changing kind of the things that you'd expect. They looked at the tyres, the pressure in the tyres, what types of tyres they were using, their racing uniforms, their helmets, made sure everything was as aerodynamic as possible, their bikes and things, that everything was fitted properly and all that kind of thing. Then they went down to some of the less obvious things like the type of pillows that they were sleeping on. And when they found the right one that was perfect for them, they would take it everywhere with them so that they could get the best rest that they could. They would do things like find the best possible strapping tape to strap themselves up for their cycling. All the little things that would be seemingly insignificant, they had a goal and an aim to improve those. So what can we learn from that experience? Well, the other thing is that so they had a goal in 5 years to win the Tour de France, and actually won it in 3. And then in the 2012 Olympics, he also led or coached the British cycling team to win 70% of the gold medals that were available at that Olympics. So that was a huge achievement. So what can we learn from that? It's easy to overestimate the importance of one defining moment and underestimate the value of making better decisions on a daily basis. Sometimes we forget that every habit that we have, everything that we do, is the result of lots of small decisions over a long period of time. We can sometimes forget this when we want to change something. So we might decide that we want to be more successful in our business. We might decide that we want to become stronger. We might want to learn something new. And we expect results very quickly. We expect that change can only happen if we can see a big, massive shift in what we're doing. So when we're making small changes, it's often not even noticeable. So small that unless you knew that you were making the change, you might be the only one that would recognise it, and often isn't even noticeable at all, because it's such a small thing when you're making changes to your business or changes to your life. But the most important thing is that you stick with that decision to improve and to improve things even by 1%. And that will compound and gradually get to a point where it's meaningful and becomes more noticeable to other people. This principle is called the aggregation of marginal gains. So lots of small things adding up to be one major or one more significant success or improvement or change. So sometimes when we set a new goal to do something, we have very high expectations of ourselves, and will often aim to go cold turkey on something when I'm trying to quit or change something in my life. And so I'm never doing that again, or I'm going to do this every day. I think it's important sometimes to allow ourselves to have failure, but it's important that if we're going to miss, there's a thing called the never miss twice rule, which he talks about in his article, James Clear. And so the idea is that, yes, you may fail, but if you get back on the horse and keep going, then it's okay, as long as you don't miss twice. And so that will prevent you from making a bad decision, having that gather momentum and lead to failure, or leading you into staying in the rut that you're already in, rather than moving towards success. So sometimes in life we talk about success as one large event, whether it might be in Sensi, for instance. I want to be a director or a star director or a superstar director. I want to earn the incentive trip. In life it might be I want to, like the British cycling team, win the Tour de France. But it's not, the importance is not on the one event or the end goal or the big thing. It's more the sum of all the smaller things, where we choose to either be 1% better or 1% worse. And so what we need to try and do is daily make good decisions that can form into habits, and improving ourselves by at least 1% or by 1%. And the aggregate of those small improvements will lead to greater success and greater improvement in our lives and in our businesses. So sometimes we say, well, what could these small things be that we could do to develop in our Sensi business? You could say to yourself, I'm going to do 5 follow-up phone calls every day, or I'm going to make 1 day a week into a booking blitz day, or I'm going to give out samples every day. I'm going to find one person to give a sample to at school drop-off every day. Or you're going to try and be more consistent in your social media and sharing Sensi and how it affects your life more consistently on Facebook or social media. So there's just a couple of ideas that you could do to improve things in a small way in your business, which as time goes on and as those things compound and grow and you develop the habit of doing those things, then your business will grow. It definitely will improve and you can experience success. So hopefully that helps you a little bit. Remember that your success in life and in everything that you do is the sum of lots of small decisions. So make good decisions, not bad ones, so that you can be successful.